Ireland's attack will come to the fore against Italy at the weekend. Murray, take us through.
Yeah, there's been loads of talk about the attack. Obviously, after they had so much possession, 70% possession, so many massive multi-phase passages where they just couldn't break. The French down. Like a lot of that discussion is always like kind of big picture, philosophical kind of things. Like, do they need a second playmaker? Do they need to change the game plan? Like in camp, that's just an unrealistic kind of debate. They don't talk about that. They have one attack review meeting at the start of the week. They fix little things and they move on. You know, Joe's not going to look at our articles and go, actually, fuck it, let's offload everything. You know, I've got this badly wrong. He's going to look at the little details, and we're going to look at some of them here in our clips. Little things that he'll probably have picked out as contributing to a rather poor attacking performance. This is actually encouraging. You're seeing James Ryan. He's one of this kind of new breed of forwards. We discussed it last week. He's going to go out the door with out the back door with that pass, and you can see there's an opportunity for Ireland. Josh van der Fleer here runs this line, and he's trying to attract in Jalibert. This guy, he's trying to get him to turn his shoulders in, and he's quite successful in doing that. You can see there Jalibert is committed to the tackle, and the ball is out the back door to Bundee Aki. Here's the opportunity now, and what Bundee Aki does is he pretty much ships the pass on within two steps. What he really needs to do is get at that inside shoulder of Chavancy there. Chavancy is the midfield defender. Like if Bundee Aki can just stick him and turn his shoulders in a little bit, the opportunity outside is going to be absolutely massive. Instead, you see Aki just ship the ball on, and you see Chavancy is gone there. He's gone on the drift straight away. He's getting across the pitch. Jalibert is going to try and link up with him. And then Robbie Henshaw, quite similar, ships on the ball, and Ireland end up with a 2-on-2 on the outside when it could have been possibly a 3-on-1 or a 2-on-1 at least, with Conor Murray as well. They're linking up on the inside. Like Joe picks out on that little thing. It's like another couple of steps on the ball for Bundee Aki. And what is a really good line break anyway, and they get 3 points out of this, possibly could have been a try-scoring opportunity. And I think Aki has those things at the top level to learn. Our next example is off set piece. Joe Schmidt, we were talking about it before. He's absolutely massive on everyone getting their role right. And one of the big roles is decoy play. He's huge on this. He pushes the players all the time. He talks about like it's natural human instinct to react to a kind of aggressive perceived threat. So like, you know, if someone swings a fist at you, you're going to flinch. He talks about that the same way with his decoy runs, like be an aggressive threat. Even if you don't block a guy, even if you don't sit him down completely, it's going to have a knock-on effect out the line. And you see in this example, we're going to look at CJ Stander first. He's trying to get outside Guirado and block him off basically. But you can see Guirado just slips outside him there. So that's your first decoy.
That's pretty poor. That's a pretty poor, you know, decoy runner there. You know, he's got to come back, let the ball literally just get in behind him and try and sit somebody down. And like he's literally just ran into space there, and the French have went, "What are you doing?" and just ran on. You know, and Joe will be livid about that. He's like, CJ, this play cannot work if you don't do your job. Like if the first rule gets broken, then the whole play is out the window.
Well, you're going to see the chain link of effect. Like, yeah, he's basically a dead decoy. The next guy is Bundee Aki here. You know, can he sit someone down? Can he block off someone in that defensive line? Again, Jalibert gets to his outside shoulder, and he's still part of that defensive line. He can drift on out. The third decoy line is Josh van der Fleer here, and again, same thing. We run it on, and you can see Jalibert and even Lamara switch past him, drift past him rather, and then you get to the outside edge, and look, it's actually a 3-on-2 for France on the outside edge. They have an overlap in defence off a set piece, which is crazy. You know, Joe Schmidt will be ripping his hair out over this during the week and running through them. They actually do. Keith Earls is a great feed. Gets inside, makes a bit of a gain line, but they're just so reliant on those set piece strikes to get over the gain line and play off. If you fail on that first phase, then you're in big trouble.
I think you'll see these exact same plays come out against Italy. I think they'll try and get them on the outside. They'll try and get them into the wider channels, and they'll be trying to execute exactly that, except do it right. And if they do it right, like that first, Johnny Sexton looks up, sees Vakatawa is really deep, really wide, disconnected. He's like, right guys, we need to get it on the outside. As soon as they get it on the outside, honestly, if the midfield just take it up, pass and give, it's a walk-in in the corner. And it's amazing what 2 or 3 steps can do to hold the defence. So they'll be working on that all week to get it right.
So much deal. Another couple of other things, just putting your skills under pressure. We've talked about the forwards passing, and this is just a small example. We're kind of zoomed out, but Tyke Furlan's got on the ball there, and he has Peter O'Mahony on his outside shoulder. Like, can he drop that little tip on pass there? I know the weather's poor, and it's a sloppy kind of conditions, but if he just gives that little tip on when the one guy rushing on him, O'Mahony goes into a hole, instead they get smashed back behind the gain line.
I think that has to come from Pete. It's not coming from Tag.
Yeah,
so Pete's got to get 2 or 3 yards wider and say, yeah, I'm on your outside, give me the tip on. Instead he's just kind of standing there waiting for the breakdown, which isn't a bad thing. Their ball security is priority. So, but you're 100% right. If they can get on that outside shoulder, there's 4 or 5 yards to get a gain line.
Yeah, because even with the forwards passing, we were talking to Tyke Furlong during the week, and we've seen them go out the back door, but he's talking about, I need a trigger call from one of the backs. It's not my decision. I'm not as comfortable making that decision. I need someone behind me, or in that case, alongside me. Another example here, not to pick on Peter O'Mahony, but they make a good gain line there. You saw Bundy Aki getting that little roll on the ground. Furlong makes the pass, and then Johnny out the back door. And O'Mahony just forces that pass.
Roger Federer, it was.
But there's three backs there. If he can actually, if we just run it back, if he can catch pass, and I know it's easy to pick this out when we can pause it and fast forward and everything, but if he can just do a catch pass, draw Lamara, there's a 3-on-1 on the outside, and again they can link up with those inside support players. So little opportunities. I think that's on phase 6, phase 7. You can see how unhappy Johnny Sexton is, and then. Little detail after the tackle, Johnny Sexton puts up a great kick. Really good competition from Rob Kearney. He's brilliant at that. He didn't actually get to the ball there, but he gets a bit of contact in the air, which Joe Schmidt loves. And the ball falls for Ireland. Conor Murray gets on the ball, but I think Joe Schmidt will have picked this out. What's your next action? You're on the ground, you're waiting for your support. How hard are you fighting? Murray kind of tries to tuck the ball down to the ground, but Schmidt will be asking, why aren't you working hard? Why aren't you wriggling forward? Why aren't you rolling up the pitch? Why aren't you getting that upper body back up the field? And you can see it ends with a turnover for France. We often look at the support players and go, oh, they weren't there quick enough. But Schmidt, his first thing is that player on the ground. He'll actually say that player on the ground is sometimes even more important than the clear.
See, I would probably disagree that the ball fell for Ireland there. Ireland just wanted the ball more. There was a couple of French guys that could have got on it quicker, but if you're on the pitch, Leinster call scraps. So if there's any ball that hits the floor, like Fergus McFadden just runs around the pitch, just scraps. He's looking for the ball. But it's something that's drilled into them in training. If a ball goes down, you'll see 2 or 3 of the Irish boys, and they don't even have any opposition, flying straight onto the ball. And sometimes it is about just who wants it that little bit more. So a 50-50 balls can work out in your favour if you wanted that a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he wants to bring that fight to everything. This is a good example from Cian Healy. He gets tackled there onto his back, and you can see Gruado is a threat over that ball, but you just get that little bit of extra detail. He's squeezing his upper body to get back up the field, and Ireland regained that possession. So they're the little things I think Joe probably tends to pick out rather than focusing on, okay, hang on, do I drop Rob Kearney, put in a second playmaker? Do I need to rip up my playbook? They're the things he'll really focus on.